as much information as possible so that you are in position to help your child, even if you did not know the system of the school where you are right now.
Yeah, especially there's no such thing as a wrong question. You know, we all learn by asking questions. This is the importance. Even if what ojimanyi system, buuza munno ayinza okubuulira omuntu omulala gw'osobola okwogera naye, and they lead you into the right path. So please, just reach out and ask. It was the best advice I think all of us can give. Dr. Kennedy, Lydia, any input on applications?
No, totally. I can actually. I'm so grateful for Madam Esther. Thank you for all you shared as a parent, and I think what you shared is so vital. But also, I wanted to speak to the parents who have no idea where to start from. My personal journey is key to that. Where I came here, I was still young, like literally had no direction, had no idea how to even apply for college. But I hit walls. I actually went to Northeastern for 2 years too. So thanks to our host, I'm a Husky girl. And because I was there as an international student, I had no idea even how to balance that. Long story short, 20 years later, I went through 2 different community colleges. And until my last community college before UCI, I literally was in a classroom. And a professor looked at me. I was a great student. And then he asked me, are you in the honors class? And I said, no, what is that? And he explained. And coming from Africa, we think these kind of societies are for the rich and famous, like kinda, lack of a better word to say. But a professor took me to the owner's office, and he helped me. And for us as Africans, we say, we have this narrative, it takes a village to raise a child. Lydia, I grew up in a big family where it took a village to get me to America. But also in America, it has taken a village to get me where I am, where I was actually empowered in a sense that there's no wrong question. And also was empowered to ask the questions, the deep questions. How do I get from A to B? Where even most of our parents, just like you said, Madam Esther, most of the parents are intimidated to go to these schools, but there are counselors willing to answer your questions. There are resources in high schools, in colleges, for us. Forget about not even having paperwork. For us, immigrants, you know. And even for the parents who have kids who have residents or who are citizens, there are so many resources for these children. So I would also encourage parents not to be intimidated, to knock at those doors, to ask the questions, to seek for help. To seek for help. That is my major statement.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So as we all know, while there is the application process, then there's the finances, paying for college. You know, this can be a nightmare for a lot of people. You may not have the money. But Francis, any advice on someone trying to get finances for college?
Yeah, the best thing you can do is fill out the FAFSA, which is a government form that lets the government know how much your parents make, how much your parents can contribute to your college tuition and stuff like that. So it gives them a sense of your standard of living, and that way they can give you like scholarships and financial aid as required. You know, so usually if you have like a low standard of living, they give you more academic aid. I mean financial aid. So usually the people who make more don't really get a lot, and I feel like this is an advantage for our communities. No pun intended. You know, yeah, it is. You know, if you can go to school and graduate without a big loan, it's an achievement in itself.
Yeah.
You know, so definitely filling out the FAFSA. It's a long process when you start. Like the first year, you have to fill it out because it's a lot of information. But once you're done, the next year you just need to click and just fill out yours, and then you're done. But yeah.
Thank you. So just to remind everyone, obviously FAFSA, you do have to be a legal citizen to apply for FAFSA. Now, if one is undocumented and they're looking to pay for college, there's things like scholarships. Dr. Kennedy, any advice on scholarships for either
Yes.
undocumented or documented students looking to go to college?
Yes, I wish I knew this one. Going through college, there's this new app called, I think it's Scholarly. It's Schollly. If you go on there, they have a website, but they also have an app. They really simplified scholarships, college scholarships. They search the web and can find all the college scholarships available, and there's so many of them. And then, depending on your qualifications, you are able to really benefit from that free money because it's technically free money. So there's scholarships if you're majoring in science, there's scholarships if you're an engineer, there's scholarships if you're playing sports. So so many scholarships out there. So using that resource right there, you are able to kind of finance your college education. The other thing I would say is grants. There is state grants, there is federal grants. That's also free money that's out there that anybody could qualify for and be able to pay for college.
Yeah, to add
Yeah.
to that, even high schools, they offer you scholarships based on how your academic record is in school. So if you're doing well in school, they will give you money. So
To quickly add a tip, your college application fee can be waived. Like I waived mine. So as long as you reach out to the school you're applying to or the high school you're in, they can waive it. So you don't have to pay the college application fee. I think which is like $300 to $500.
It adds up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if you're applying to different colleges, obviously there's different fees for each different school, and they can really add up. So like as a parent, any advice on that? Did it ever get overwhelming, even looking at the tuition and what was needed for you?
Yeah, it can get overwhelming, and like someone clarified already, um, this is where it gets overwhelming. Like you will not know how much you're gonna be contributing towards college until you fill out the FAFSA, and then it will tell you the expected family contribution. And once you know that, then you start saying, "Oh, I thought I was gonna get more because they tell us to do that. We get financial aid." But it's like a rude awakening, and that's where the frustration kicks in. So yeah, it can get frustrating because once you figure out how much it's gonna cost you or what you thought is not what it is, it can be frustrating.
Just to add on that, you know, if you keep in mind that there is other options and you know reach out to other people mwogere n'abantu abalala bajja babuulira the different options eziriyo nga scholarships, grants, so and then also tulwali abazadde abalala ababiyiseemu so they can help relieve the stress when it's too much. Talking is key, bannange. Talking is key.
Well, one thing I can add on to that is that for all parents with kids in 12th grade, or maybe it's a little late, but kids are coming up for college, try to do your applications as early as possible because they run out of money. Even if it's a loan, even if it's a grant, whatever it is, they run out of money. And then the scholarships get very competitive. They have early deadlines. So those are good sources for funding, but please do your homework, get all the deadlines straightened out for the FAFSA, put it in early so that you have the higher chances of getting that financial aid.
and work study too.
Oh yeah, and then there's work studies too.
One thing I wanted to chime in on scholarships, and this is one thing a lot of us take for granted. There's something called community service. That Lydia, I was privileged to be accepted in the University of California in Irvine on a full scholarship. But part of the story as to why I was given a full scholarship is because of the work I've done for the last 15 years in this country. And for me, I did it without even realizing that one day it will be a payback on my journey. I end up again, even applying to colleges, there is writing your story. That is so vital. So we need actually to empower and help our young people to help them write their story. And in that story, universities read that story and they find something that they use that to help you and give you a scholarship. So for my community work, that empowered me, that helped me. So I want to encourage parents to encourage their children the young people to serve in communities. And service can be anything. It could be serving at church. It could be serving at a local homeless shelter. So those are some of the things we also need to empower our young people to be involved with. I wanted to add that too.
To actually add on to Dr. Lydia, it just brought back a past memory in like my archives in my head. Naye, in high school, nafe, but was a community service, and it was a requirement. Actually, I went to a Catholic high school here, and one of the things, it was a requirement for the community service. Nalabo mugaso gwayo kwa kutuka for college, chanyamba, and I didn't even realize it, community service, so it helped me in the long run. So banange encourage abana bagende bakole community service bayambe banawe, because now pay it forward, it pays back.
Yeah.
The best thing I can say. And then the other thing is sports. Abazanye mizanyo banange, if omwana omulungi mu basketball, muongedo muwa amanyi kubanga then ajafuna scholarship. Obazanya soccer, bajamu a scholarship, agenda asome azanye tomanya ayinza okuba the next LeBron.
Soccer scholarship.
Yeah. So it's possible, honestly. Whatever their skills and strengths are, please just ride on those and the money will come. Well, so while finances are there, then there's the biggest question of majors and minors, double majors, and how do you choose your major? So Francis, was it easy to decide on a major?
Yes and no. Going into college, I decided on the major of computer science, and it definitely had I was forced into it by friends and family because it was the career path that had the most job growth, so I was like, I would go and try it and see what happens. And freshman year I quickly realized it was not for me, which was a good thing, so I managed to drop something that was going to give me a hard time for my 4 years at school. So definitely the advice I would give to people is that definitely pick a major that you think you like rather than looking at other things like job growth or, stuff like that. I was in a major that I had no business, pursuing, because I would have so much homework. I had no life at college, and yes, we go to college to study, but at the same time you have to live as well. You can't be doing homework, the whole week long and weekends as well. So
finding the balance.
Yeah, you have to find the balance. So
Lydia, so you obviously spoke about being in school. Was it easy for you to find your major, and any advice?
Yes, ma'am. I think for me it was organic in a sense. Okuvanga and Uganda and muto, I always wanted to be a doctor because I was born into a world where HIV/AIDS was eradicating everybody from family to neighbors. And in that sense, with the medical situation back home, even now, my parents told me we don't have medicine for AIDS, and for me, I knew going to be a doctor will help me. But that said, it was a journey. Years later, I just graduated with 2 degrees in biology and political science, and I can say I've been on this linear journey to be a doctor. But with my work in community and my non-profit work, working at the hospital in Kumi, where there was actually 1 doctor serving 250,000 people, true story, 3 years ago when I walked in that hospital, no water, no medicine, I kind of created a new journey for me, living in America. Now my next journey for my grad school is to do a PhD in public health and political and public policy. In a sense, that be one. And I just want to encourage
college, and my daughter is in college. Something that we can talk about. I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but maybe on another show. But I haven't run into it myself, but it's so real. Yes. I can identify with that. Yeah.
So before we go on break, I guess we'll just say, believe in your kids, know their strengths, or pushing in what they want, and just trust in them. Because I know Kennedy would have a great story from his experience.
Sure. You want me to share?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Like
yes.
2 minutes.
Yes, quickly. Well, when I first came to America, off the plane, I asked my mom this question: "What is the highest paying job in America?" and she was like, "Well, pharmacist." And then going through school, I realized chemistry was not really my thing, and I had to really come up with something, that I could major in. And I have family members telling me, you should be a doctor, you should be a surgeon, you should be, but none of those rang a bell with me. And I definitely agree with Lydia, what she said about following your passion, because that's one thing I have learned being here, and it was a blessing that I learned it early enough before I went into college, that you have to find what you love. What you truly love is what
kulagirirwa kale okusobola okumalako obulungi mu nseene yafuuka eyaffe weetaaga obukugu obuva mu bakugu aboogera olulimi lw'otegeera era nga be baffe aba multi professional consultants LLC. Tulina obukugu mu by'emisolo, okukiikirirwa mu IRS, eby'embalirira, ebyenfuna, paperwork owa buli kika, faxi, sikaani, wana zifotokopi byonna tubirina. Tumanyi okukiikirira baklayenti baffe mu ngeri zonna n'okuwandiisa kampani, ate tulina obukugu ne mu birala bingi nnyo. Kale teweeka mwana wekka ng'atalina babo gwe n'obeera eyo nga buyise bw'omu nedda watu. Tolemu America, jangu otusange ku 703 Main Street Waltham oba 53 Morris Street Everett, Massachusetts. Oba kuba essimu eno etali yakusasulira 866-259-593 oba 677-398-417 oba 857-363-0387. Feba Multi Professional Consultants tuli bakugu mu bingi. Omuweesi ekyamuzimbya ku kubo kulagirirwa kale okusobola okumalako obulungi mu nseene yafuuka eyaffe.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is anyone who has missed the first half of our show. We are talking about college in the USA, pros, cons, best parts, worst moments, advice. Please interact with us again. We are Ugandan Millennials Worldwide, UMW, and we had to really create a safe haven. We are sharing our own personal experiences, our own personal stories, and we're just hoping that they can empower you, inspire somebody, touch somebody, and create a safe haven for all Ugandans outside of Uganda and in Uganda. So, up next, our next topic is really real world as a college student, college graduate. Francis, you're up. As a senior in college, any challenges that you have dealt with? Any pros about staying on campus? Are you on campus or off campus?
On campus.
How do you like that?
It's actually, I lived on campus for the first 2 years in college and then moved off campus the third year, and then I'm back in campus now. And the one thing I didn't like about being off campus was that they would have a lot of gatherings, on the weekends, and they'll always have the cops to come to their houses or whatever. So it was just a noisy environment, but it just got out of hand. So I got tired of that kind of life, and then came back to school, where it's much more of a student environment, and you can get work done, because when I was living off campus, I would have to go to the library and do work, but now I can sit in my room and actually work on my assignments without actually having to drive a car and go to the library. So, yeah.
Miss Esther,
Yes.
as a parent, you have a child in college, you told us. Are they on campus or off campus?
On campus.
And we know sometimes as parents looking at the prices of tuition and then on campus, it can be intimidating. Any advice on how to really let your child go to campus or stay home?
Well, I want to say it's all specific to the family. If your child is away from home, like you say in Rhode Island, right?
Yeah.
If the child is in Rhode Island, I would recommend, my recommendation would be for them to stay on campus. Everything is around, the amenities, the libraries, the labs, everything is there for them. Although somebody might make an argument that it's cheaper to stay off campus, but it comes with a cost, like you just mentioned. There are other distractions that go on. If you're gonna put in so much money to this school and pay them, you might as well use the amenities. But if you are off campus, you may not be able to put your money to good use. So my recommendation would be in that case that the child stays on campus. But then again, we can come back to wherever you are and your school is closed in your town. I might say in that case, again, someone can choose to come from home or to rent out, or someone might choose to stay on campus because their coursework, it will be more beneficial for them to be on campus based on their coursework. So I think it's very specific depending on each individual and what they are studying and where they are living and whether they are going to a school which is a little far away. And far away meaning like out of state, because some kids stay at home but then they have to drive like an hour and a half to school. And in that case, again, I know it's very specific. It's dependent on finances and so many things. But I would say instead of driving like an hour and a half, maybe it would be beneficial to stay on campus, because literally you might be saving money, but you're losing 3 hours every day. So, I mean, it's very specific, and those are all factors that we as parents and together with the children, we have to put into consideration in deciding, whether my child should stay at home, commute, or stay on campus.
I don't know on that, if I may quickly. When you stay on campus, there's other ways you can waive that payment of on board, like being on campus. You can be a resident advisor.
That's right.
So a resident advisor, you're muntu abela in charge of the dormitory. If you get that job of a resident advisor, then your room and board is waived. In college, so I was a resident advisor, and then my room and board was waived. So I was technically staying there for free.
Yeah. That's really great advice. Muwulidde bannange, waliyo emirimu ku ssomero gye musobola okukola ne gibayamba okusasulira ebintu ebirala bye weetaaga okusasulira. So bannange, I'll open up the floor. Any advice for, as you know, we do have our fellow Ugandans abave Kampala ne bajja wano okusoma. And we all know the transition from Ugandan schools, obviously school system is different from here. So katugamba ali as if for college. Any advice on the transaction? Anybody?
I can chime in. I think there's this sense of fear of the unknown. There's also omuntu okubanga talina bipapula. We might as well put it out there, right? And I think, Lydia, I fell short on this story. Okujja mu nsi muno nga tolina bipapula as an international student, and then you just run into school and applying for these classes, and as an international student I ended up with a huge debt, $25,000 to say the least. So I would advise omuntu eyakaja, and this is why our community, we need to really rally and create spaces abantu abakaja bayinza okujja to get these resources. Omuntu eyakaja, it's not wise omugamba genda mu ssomero. They are first things first. Kitegeera singa omuntu yangamba Lydia sooka okole ku bipapula byo, that would have saved me a lot of money, a lot of time, So for me, the advice I can give omuntu eyakaja, let us use our resources. Let us use us as the panelists. Me, I'm here. My number is open to anyone. You can actually leave it to anyone. I can help. Now here we can also use churches.
Yes.
We can use the Boston community. People are listening to us across the United States, California. We have so many communities, Texas, name it. To let us use our communities okuyamba abantu bafa bakajja. If a family eno omuntu yakajja, let us reach out. For me, I'm willing to help anyone. Abantu, let us just put aside omuntu okutya. Reach out kubanga unless you reach out, no one will know the problem you're in. So for me, I wouldn't advise omuntu ogenda mu ssomero nga yakajja first. Let us do the first things first. Tubayambe, get their life in line, get their paperwork done, then to batwale mu ssomero where they have their passion in. That's my little word.
To add on to that, Narigambia, because I remember this is something Nange, Lydia, college loans. I wish somebody had told me it's okay to go to a community college, Because in
Totally.
community colleges, they are cheaper than these other big schools of like Harvard, Northeastern, Boston University. You know, they're cheaper. Ate bw'okola bulungi katugambe in your first 2 years, you can have the next 2 years in Suffolk University or Northeastern University for free, you know? So there's
Yeah.
all these different ways to play the system, Banange. So just don't, you know, send your child to Northeastern and come and please reach out to us. So, Dr. Kennedy, any big lessons you've learned being out of school, being a doctor now?
Yes, I've learned that school doesn't really prepare you for the real world. The actual experiences matter more. So to really learn that, I went through school. My college school was 7 years. It would have ended up coming out with a lower loan than I have right now. So I didn't do that. I never paid. I still worked, but I never paid my interest. But if you pay off your interest while you're still in school, your loan will be actually lower. I learned that being out of college.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I'm still in school and I'm paying off my interest as I go.
Smart.
So,
Yeah.
Lydia.
To stay in school, to follow your dreams, to not settle for less, to not settle for anything. And what, mother? Now, yeah, with all the humbleness, I want to encourage mothers, fathers, community leaders, or even any other girl listening to me. It's okay to follow your passion. It's okay to be a CEO of a company. It's okay to take time to go into marriage. It's okay, you know, and with all that, Katonda ngembezi wafe, we can all achieve the rest. Na yenze Lydia, my next mission is to do that. Empower women to follow their dreams and to follow their cause. That's it.
Miss Esther, as a parent, what's your take?
So, what I would do, I want to encourage, not just, okay, I want to encourage the young women, and I also want to encourage the young men to get mentorship.
Yes.
Get somebody to mentor you. Reach out. I mean, be proactive. Like we already mentioned here, someone may not know what you're going through. Someone may not know your strength or your weakness. So, reach out and find someone to mentor you. We have so many people in our community who have completed school or have gained expertise in different areas. Look out to those people to mentor you. I mean, different people network, that's what the word is. Network a lot. So that by the time you come out of college or by the time you are transitioning from high school to college trying to figure out things, you can be talking to this person already in the field with the experience that they can walk you through it. They can advise you accordingly. That's what I want to emphasize really, that be mentored, reach out for help, get out there and find out more information about what you think you want to become, because I think that's the best thing that will help you get where you want to be once you're finished with college. Because I find that, like, say in my experience, if you can give me like maybe 1 minute, is that if I had gotten somebody to actually mentor me while I was in college, or to even help me get some of the exposure into what I was studying, because when I did my college, it was more like in Uganda, where you do a lot of theory and no real practical side of it. So, and when I was in college, I still had some of that, but I feel like if people can go out there and get some experience and get, you know what I mean, that will help out a lot. It will help you a lot when you graduate. It will help you a lot when you're trying to go out there, reach for a job. I mean, try to find a job, because you have a better idea of what you are asking for, what you want to be. And I just feel like just get out there and network and get someone to mentor you. I am open to mentor whoever wants to be mentored, especially in my area of study in civil engineering. I am open to mentor you in leadership. So, I mean, all these folks here on the panel, we all have something to offer in our community, in the Boston community, especially because I'm from the Boston area. There is so much. There's so many people who are equipped, that if each one of us took a hand of one of the young people, what a big influence we would make. So, young people out there, you do your part too, and reach out and be mentored and tap into some of this wealth of wisdom and knowledge that people have gained, and you will position yourself better when you come out of college or when you go into college.
Another quick tip to add on to that, besides mentorship, is also internships.
That's right.
Go out there, do the internships. There's also shadowing if you're in high school. Shadowing, going to the job you're interested in and going there and trying to see if that's the best fit for you. Kulaba chiko emirimu gukola gutya gugenda gutya. Going out there and really doing the internships and the shadowing. Ekyo nakyo kiyamba nnyo in terms of being successful and getting out and getting a really good higher education.
So the exposure is great. Networking, as a reminder to everyone watching us, this is Ugandan Millennials Worldwide, and we're here for you to network. If you need any mentoring, we have a really great team. Just reach out, because we're really here to unite one another, inspire and empower. And this is all we're all about, to go through school and survive this world. Once again, we are sponsored by Comfort Homes Uganda Limited, where you can buy furnished homes at a cheaper price. Again, let's inspire one another, unite. If you do need a home in Uganda, reach out to them, please. So this is such a hot topic, and as we all know, though, we have to be honest, college is not for everyone. So I'm going to start with Miss Esther. What is your feel? What about if you have a child who doesn't want to go to college? How do you feel about that?
Well, first of all, I just want to point out why we are even talking about this, because we want to talk about the benefits, because that means I'm going to be against it, right? So I just want to say the benefits of going to college right up front, so that people don't feel like college is not important. It's a prestigious accomplishment, and it gives us a competitive edge in the field, and also it gives us a career advancement, because there are certain positions in the field out there that you will not be able to get because of the way society is set up. You will not be able to get without a college degree. So I just want to point those things out up front, that college is a good thing. College is a good thing. Is it really for everyone? I don't know about my panelists here. I don't think it is so. And I say that very carefully, because I was brought up knowing that every child has to go to college or university at home, like we call it. And but being in this country, I've come to see reality, even in the workforce, that college is actually not the ultimate destiny for every child. There are other opportunities out there, and I'm saying this very carefully, because I'm not against college and I want my own kids to go to college, but it's the reality. So we gotta talk reality, guys. College, there is a lot this country has taught me, and there is a lot to offer each and every child, and it's all based on what are the strengths of the child, what are the interests of the child. Do they really want to go to college? You're gonna go paying 100,000 grand for them to get a bachelor's degree in something that they're not gonna use? I mean, are you gonna lose all those 4 years in something that you're not gonna ever use? No. But then I've seen people succeed as going to they go to like trade schools, vocational schools, technical schools, and they come up with certificates. They come up with certificates in electricity, in plumbing, in HVAC, and they excel. So to answer your question, I believe college is not for everyone, and I say that very carefully to our viewers, but I want people to know that there are so many other opportunities. And once you've explored some of these opportunities through, say, a technical school, and you gain expertise and all the skills, then maybe you can, maybe it's time for you to go to college, so you can get your business administration or advance it to an MBA. But this country has taught me that we are actually putting in and pushing kids to go to college, when some of them it's not their destiny. They can actually excel another route. There is another route to get to your career destiny. having said that, I love my kids to go to college. So I just want to say that. But that's the reality. We have to face the reality. And okay, for our viewers, I just want to say one thing. Explore those areas because some of these kids have talent, like mechanics. I don't know what the strength of your child is, but you have to recognize that and help them get there. Maybe they need that 1 year from high school to before college so that they can think about it and before you waste all the time and the money. And then eventually I've seen kids too in my walk of life because I've been working for a while where even if they went to a trade school, then thereafter they discovered, oh, now it's time for me to go actually on top of my degree. And then they have so much going for them that by the time they graduate, they're in a higher position. So,
Dr.
that's my
Kennedy?
take.
Thank you.
To add on to that, definitely there's other ways. Also, Jenjaga Okugamba, college, once you graduate, education doesn't stop there. You don't stop learning just because you got a degree, a diploma, or a doctorate. Continuing education is really key. Self-education. So there's other ways. For me, I look up to a lot of people who have written these inspiration books because I like inspiration books and motivation. And the thing that push is reading books because there's so much knowledge and real world experiences and real world advices in terms of financial literacy, financial freedom, knowing about personal development. So things like personal development. So self-education is also another route if you didn't go the college route.
Lydia, any
Yes, ma'am.
input? Is college for everyone?
I can truthfully say college is not for everyone, and we need to debunk that, okay? But if someone has a heart to just take this next step, there's a lot of resources. And those who feel like college is not for them, there's also support elsewhere. There are technical institutions which are not full-blown college work. There is starting your business, and it's all about an idea you put on paper. And just like Madam Esther said, networking is key in this arena. Lydia, I have my own nonprofit I've been running for the last 4 years, and it's all about networking. It's not because, well, I've put in my degree to work with my biology studies, but networking is key. So again, college is not for everyone, but those who want it, there's support. Those who don't feel college is it, create your idea and put it on paper and create a business. And also support is there. Or our community normally mugwamanyi okuyamba abantu baffe to get their dreams on paper and figure it out.
Yeah. Francis, as a college student, are there moments when you just feel like, this is not for me? Or has it just always been, this is for me?
No, I've never had that feeling, but I had a good support system behind me because when I first went to college, I went to play soccer initially and then got bad injury and stopped playing soccer, so I was down for a bit, but my family really helped me, get through these last 3 years, and I'm about to graduate, which I'm humbled and thankful that they supported me. But at the same time, if you feel like college is not going to help you, it's not for you, that's the good thing about the US. It's a choice. My mom sat me down before I applied to college and asked me, if you don't want to do it, I don't want to waste my time, just let me know right now, because it's an investment. Most people who go to college will come up with loans, and you have to know that going in. You don't have to be scared about it because you're not the first one.
Yeah.
There's people who they work 9 to 5 and whatever, but they're still paying off loans. So you have to look at it in a way that we're all in this together. It's what you're getting from the college,
Yes.
which is what I look at. Because we're in a country where you're already disadvantaged by the color of your skin.
And your accent.
So yeah, and your accent. So if you're trying to get, to that same level, you have to go to college. You have to work twice as hard. You know, you have to do all these things that, white people might not even care about. But for you, you have to go and work hard. You have to, get that good job and take care of your family. You have to do all this stuff.
Yeah. So
humble.
just, huh?
I always felt like I had to work like 10 times or 20 times as hard
Of
compared
course.
to my peers. You have to prove you belong. You have to prove like you are educated because you already have there's this stigma that just because you're black, you're African, you're already ignorant. So you kind of have to overcome all that to really
And
succeed. Yeah.
and don't be afraid to go to college because you're the only black kid there.
Yeah.
Like I go to a college where when I went to visit, like I saw one other black kid in the tour. So, but it didn't stop me, because I knew what I wanted. You're always going to be outnumbered,
Yes.
because
But then, so this is why like groups like this do come around, to unite each other. Because if we're united, then you do feel a power. There's strength in numbers, So if you do feel like you're going through it alone, just reach out because there's strength in numbers. You can find your strength from there. And whatever chosala kola, no solo chikola. As we're running out of time, because college is a really hot topic, so many questions we talk about. Manange, let me just ask one last question. If one is struggling, as we all want to send our people to college, there's long hours, you have to work, you have families, or Kampala, the stress can really add up, and the workload can also add up. So any advice on keeping it together for anyone who's struggling, anyone just trying to keep their head afloat? Any advice? We have like 5 minutes.
I'll quickly give advice because when I was going through grad school, college never really challenged me. Undergrad really never challenged me. What really, really challenged me was grad school. Going through that doctorate program was brutal. Like I wouldn't want to go through it again. It was very challenging to the point that I felt like I was really stable mentally, but there came a point where I got a panic attack. I seriously got a panic attack, broke down, and for a whole month, it was from a straight A students, I was getting Fs. And you're in a program whereby it's really, really strict that if you get a C in a class or another C in a class, 2 Cs, you get kicked out of the program. So if you're not performing well with tests and quizzes to keep up with that demand, then you're really, really scared to get kicked out of the program. But going through that, what really got me out was actually lowering my ego as a man and actually picking up a phone and calling my mom. I'm like, I'm about to fade out. What should I do? And she's like, well, why don't you call your pastor? So I put the phone down. call Pastor Katende.
Like, takes a village.
It's really hard. I don't know what to do, Pastor. I think I'm about to be out. And then, he advised me. We prayed together on the phone.
Yes.
He picked me up, called my mom back. She's like, well, how do you feel? I was like, I'm still kind of panicked. I'm a little calm, but I'm still panicked. I have another test tomorrow. She's like, well, call your aunt. Because my aunt is a nurse. So, and then my aunt is like, well, Kennedy, what do you like to do? And she's like, I'm like, go to the gym? She's like, well, why don't you go to the gym? I'm like, no, I have a test to study for. I can't go to the gym. But she's like, no, you're panicking because you're overstressed and you're so worried. Just go to the gym. Do what you love. Just go to the gym. And I actually went to the gym. It was the best advice I ever gotten in my life because I actually spent an hour in the gym just running, and I just put on my speakers and I was just running, and then got off the treadmill. Kid you not, the next test I took, I got an A on it.
Oh wow! So that is such a beautiful, beautiful story. I guess the ending message on that is basically, if you feel like you're struggling, if you feel like you can't keep up, go out and do something you love. Or call us. You never know. We may have some advice for you. Just a reminder, you're not in it by yourself. We're here together. We're Ugandans together, and united we stand. And once again, we want like to thank you all for watching our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments, your feedback. And thank you so much, Diaspora TV, for this opportunity, and our sponsors, Comfort Homes Limited, Uganda Limited, where you can buy furnished homes at a cheaper price. Thank you so much. We love you guys, and we just want you to know that UMW is here. We create a safe haven for every Ugandan, and we would like um, to inspire and empower one another. And any last word from our panels? Because we'd like to thank them so much for taking the time out to come out and give their personal views. Again, this is just personal options, personal views. And if you'd like to talk to any one of them, we will give out contact informations. And any last words as we say goodbye and thank everyone? Start from here. Start from the mother.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to have me on your show. Just to say something little on your last question. My advice to folks, whether the students themselves or some people who have families but they are going back to school, is try to set realistic goals. Don't like whelm yourself with working so many jobs, taking care of the children and going to school. Set some realistic goals that will help you enjoy your family if you are, a parent going back to school. And then for the young people, set some realistic goals. Don't overwhelm yourself. Like, lay out exactly what you want to do, just from experience, because I also did my grad school when I was married. But it can take a toll on you as the individual, and then on your family too, on your children. But try to be realistic to yourself. We all know we have to take care of families in Uganda, but try to take care of the children here, because look at Francis, he's gonna finish his college. So time is going, and once they are gone, they are gone. So my plea to the parents and also to the young people is like, set realistic goals. For the parents, give this time to your children, to your families, because they're gonna grow and live, and then you'll still have to support the people back in Uganda or do your favorite things. So like, really lay out realistic goals and don't overwhelm yourself. Try to have some fun with life, because it's really short. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Gentlemen?
for sure, for me to add on to that, just find that balance. Don't just do school. There's also other activities, other programs you could engage into while you're there, and you can make that college experience your experience. The best advice I ever got joining college was at Melmac College. As a freshman, they told us, make it your Melmac. So like that was my mantra going through the school, to make it my own experience. Adding on to the other point, come join us, at UMW. We are here, we are a platform that can be able to provide you the resources you need in many ways. So reaching out to different resources is also another way that you can feel like you're not alone in this tough part of your journey through life. So reaching out is definitely key.
Francis, any last words?
Yeah, I would advise everyone to go to college. I know that's forceful, but it's an experience you have to go through. Yeah, don't be afraid of all the things that comes with it. It's definitely a tradition that was put in place for people to go and figure out what they want to do with their lives. Not only studying, like Kennedy said, you have to have a life. You have to have a balance. Do some extracurricular activities. You be on sports teams. There's clubs and
Intramurals,
intramurals. You could join clubs like, let's say, Hawks of St. Jude or something like that.
Student government.
Yeah,
so many
student
programs.
government.
Yeah.
You could volunteer. You can do a lot of stuff in college that is non-academic. So, but it just helps you get through those 4 years. Yeah, and I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thanks to Kennedy. I know it was last minute, but I'm always here to to help out. And the people who have gone to college, I urge you to be like to help out these other people who are trying to get into college, because there's a lot of people who know stuff but are not willing to share, you know. So be that person, be that point of contact, you know, be that someone that someone can come to ask you a question, and you can, you know, offer them the right answer and not just saying stuff for the sake of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Lydia, 2 minutes, girl.
Yes, mom. I just want to talk to those in college. Hey, join student government. Lydia, that was my saving grace. Graduating as a student body president, it was not easy. It's a lot of work, but it's all worth it at the end of the day. But also, for those who think failure is just in their face, it's okay to fail. A lot of us think failure is the end of our story. It's okay to fail, and don't use that to be your story. Seek for help. Learn to seek for help, and I hope this is the beginning of a greater story and conversation we can continue. Thank you for having me.
Kale bannange twebaziza nnyo mwebale nnyo okubeera naffe. We hope you have a great rest of your day. Good night and see you next time. Thank you. UMW out.
Thank you.
Skin and them back been knocked down.